and that will come to you to do with as you decide. You can table it, you can take it up, whatever you decide. So I want you to be aware of that motion, because that's the proper procedure if the parties are making a motion to bring it to me and for me to share it with you. Mr. Busby.
Thank you, Your Honor. Is it okay if I call you Drew? Turn your mic on there.
There we go. Is this better?
Okay?
Yes, sir. That is okay.
I hope you don't think I'm being disrespectful.
No, go ahead.
We did speak on the phone a couple of nights ago.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you also talked to these folks over here as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to clear something up. When you were working as an aide to General Paxton, you were getting paid not only from the state, but also from his campaign.
Yes, sir. That is correct.
Because you were doing some things not only for the state, but you were doing other business for General Paxton.
Correct.
And so it would make sense that you would be paid by both entities.
Yes, sir.
And as I understand it, you were getting paid direct deposit by the campaign?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just to clear this up, when you decided to leave the AG's office and go and work in your family's business, somebody forgot to turn off your direct deposit from the campaign.
Yes, sir.
It wasn't somebody like still giving you checks. It was just an automatic direct deposit.
Objection, speculation.
I mean, you know how you're getting paid in your own bank account.
I'll sustain the objection, but you can ask again.
You know how you were getting paid. It was a direct deposit into your bank account, wasn't it?
That's correct.
And it just continued until you raised the issue and then you gave the money back, right?
Objection, speculation.
We've already heard from this.
Overruled.
Isn't that what happened when it was figured out? General Paxton said, well, just keep the money, Drew, and you decided, no, the better thing to do is just give it back to the campaign, right?
That is correct.
Okay. You talked about 3 lunches in your direct, did you not?
I did.
These were at restaurants?
Yes, sir.
In a public place?
Yes, sir.
Was anybody hiding or in a secret dark back room?
Not to my knowledge.
Anybody that walked in the restaurant could see General Paxton there, could see you there, could see whoever he was having lunch with there, right?
That is correct.
Wasn't anything secret about that at all, was there?
No, sir.
Okay. I want to make sure the members understand, Drew, because this is some things that you not only told the House when you were interviewed, but you also told me the other night on the phone. When you were working for General Paxton, you almost considered him family, didn't you?
That is correct.
You have no animosity towards the Paxtons, do you?
I do not.
And you told me you love the General, right?
That is correct.
And you also said you appreciate everything that General Paxton did for you.
Correct.
The Paxtons used to joke that you were a second son, didn't they?
They did.
You told me that you and General Paxton were very close.
That's correct.
Are you accusing, and I don't think you are, I just want to make it clear, because you were probably with General Paxton more than anyone else during that time frame that you were working for him, weren't you?
Yes.
I mean, I want to make it clear. I think that the senators know, but just for the public, sometimes you would be what's called a body man. You ever heard that term?
Yes, I've heard that term.
Yeah, and basically you're with your boss all the time until he releases you for the day.
That is correct.
So you would have been spending more time with General Paxton than anyone else, right?
Yes.
More so than even his wife, Angela.
Yes.
You're not accusing him of bribery, are you?
I'm not.
Let's be clear. The guy that spent more time, and that's you, Drew, with General Paxton than anyone else during the time frame that we're here to talk about is absolutely not accusing General Paxton of doing anything wrong at all, are you?
I'm not accusing anybody of anything, no.
Okay. You also were with General Paxton when he traveled, right?
That's correct.
And just so, and I know you've read some of these press reports, haven't you?
I've done my best to stay away from any sort of media. I've had some people say some things to me, but I've tried to shut that down as soon as it's come up.
And I know it's hard to ignore some of this stuff in the newspaper, but you know that there's been an allegation that General Paxton had a secret email address?
I believe you mentioned that to me on the call the other day, yes.
And you and I know that the reason he had that Proton address, that email address, was because he was traveling to China.
That is correct.
And the reason and that was something set up for him by the IT department at the Office of Attorney General.
That is correct.
And that email address was to prevent the Chinese from hacking into his into his email, right?
Correct.
Okay. And other people in the office had that same type of email address, didn't they?
I don't know how many others, but yes.
Okay. You remember the suggestion of burner phones?
Miss Epley mentioned it earlier, but yes.
Yeah, it was, and I know you probably haven't been reading the newspaper, but let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. If a burner phone is a phone, a plastic phone that you can buy at a convenience store with a certain amount of minutes, and when it's over, you break it and throw it in the trash. General Paxton never had anything like that, did he?
Not to my knowledge, no.
He never had any burner phone, did he?
Not under that definition, no, sir.
Okay. You told the House you could not speculate as to what relationship Nate Paul had with General Paxton. Isn't that right?
I stated that I believe that they were friends, yes. But I wouldn't speculate beyond that.
Yeah, that's all you know, right?
Yes.
Okay. One thing you do know, that you never were in the presence of General Paxton when he and Nate Paul made any kind of agreement. Isn't that right?
That is correct.
I mean, let's be clear. They've been throwing around this word conspiracy for literally a week and almost a half, and you were the man who was with General Paxton more than anyone else, and you can say definitively, you never saw Nate Paul and General Paxton reach any sort of agreement whatsoever. Isn't that right?
No, sir.
Is that right?
For the conversations I was privy to, that is an accurate statement. Yes, sir.
Okay. You don't have any actual knowledge that Nate Paul ever did anything for General Paxton other than buy a lunch. Isn't that right?
That is correct.
Let's be clear. The man that was with General Paxton more than anyone else is testifying under oath that you have no evidence, no knowledge that Nate Paul ever did anything for General Paxton other than buy a lunch. Isn't that true?
That is correct.
Now, you have seen some speculation in the newspaper and the press, haven't you?
Prior to this trial, yes.
Yeah. And I want to, and I'm not picking on you, Drew, because I think you can tell that I'm fond of you and I like you. But I want you to know that this whole idea of the house renovations, everybody says it came from you. Do you know anything about who paid for General Paxton's home renovations?
Not directly, no.
All you have is one stray comment, right?
Across multiple instances, yes.
And you were concerned about it and you went and raised it with your boss, right?
That is correct.
And he was very clear with you. That is not what's going on here. Isn't that right?
That is what he stated to me, yes.
Okay. When you interviewed with the house managers, did they ever bother to show you the receipts, bills, payments related to General Paxton's house renovations?
No, sir.
They are in evidence. Did you ever go with General Paxton and Senator Paxton when they went to Home Depot?
No, sir.
When they went to Lowe's?
No, sir.
When they went to a different Lowe's?
No, sir.
Were you ever with them when they were pricing sinks and countertops?
No, sir.
You did say in your testimony to the House that General Paxton's, I don't want to use the wrong word, but he's close with his money.
Yes.
I don't want to call him cheap because he's my client, but he pays attention to what he spends.
The word I would use is frugal.
Frugal, good word, okay. You believed, based on what some people have told you or maybe what you read, that General Paxton got granite countertops?
That was what I read in one news article, yes.
Okay, let's let that sink in. And when you read that, and when you connected it to the statement you say you heard, you thought, well, there it is. General Paxton got granite countertops paid for by Nate Paul, right?
No, sir.
You still didn't believe that, did you?
No, sir. In terms of the timing, I had already made my statements to the House committee, and the article that I read and am referencing now, I believe came out after that.
Okay, and I'm not talking about that. I just want to make sure that at some point in time, you believed that General Paxton had gotten granite countertops, right?
I'd heard that. I don't think I believed that. No, sir.
Do you believe it now?
No, sir.
Let's pull up, Eric, if you will, Attorney General Exhibit 371. You told us you had been in the kitchen of the Paxton's home in Austin,
I was.
and that's in Terrytown here in Austin?
That is my understanding what the neighborhood's called, yes.
Okay. Can we pull that up, Eric, please?
Objection, Your Honor. Is this already in evidence? And he hasn't established the relevant time period, whether it was before or after.
I've already said this is in evidence, Your Honor. It's AG 371.
Overruled.
Now, this picture, sir, was taken a few days before this trial started. Do you see the countertop?
Objection assumes facts not in evidence.
It's already been proved up, Your Honor. We'll do it again.
It has not been proven up. It is a photograph, and it depicts exactly what it reports to until or unless he lays a predicate for someone who can say when it was taken.
If I could keep going, Your Honor, we'll do all that.
Same.
Sir, do you see the kitchen, the Paxton kitchen there?
I do.
Do you see the countertops?
I do.
Are those the same countertops that you saw when you were in the Paxton kitchen?
Prior to the renovation, yes.
Okay. Do you realize that that's the same countertops as they exist today?
Objection, facts not in evidence. He doesn't have a predicate for that, and he's testifying to the Senate.
Your Honor, this has already come into evidence of the current picture of General Paxton's kitchen. It's already in
This
evidence.
characterization of the evidence, Your Honor, the photograph is in evidence, but what it depicts has not been established, and Tony Busby does not get to, no matter how hard he tries, establish the time frame in which it was taken.
Again,
Sustained.
is this how the kitchen looked when you were in it?
Prior to the renovations, yes.
Okay. Do you see the countertops?
I do.
Do you see the stove?
I do.
Do you see the cabinetry?
I do.
Okay. Do you know how often the Paxtons went and priced new stoves, new countertops, painting the cabinetry? Do you know any of that?
Objection assumes facts not in evidence. We don't know that they did that at all.
I'm asking him, Your Honor. How can I establish if I don't ask him that?
Overruled.
Do you know how many times they did that?
I do not.
Wouldn't it be unfair to the Paxtons to suggest that this picture here,
Objection to relevance is the way it's phrased, Your Honor.
Let
It's
him finish his
inappropriate.
question.
do you know whether the countertops that we see in this picture, do you know whether they've ever changed?
I do not know if they've changed now.
Okay. In evidence is Exhibit 346 to 353. You mentioned Steam Clean as one of the contractors, right?
Yes, sir.
And you had to deal with them?
I believe I was copied on email correspondence.
Okay. And did you know that there was more work that the Paxtons wanted beyond what Steam Clean was going to do?
I wasn't that involved in the detail of the STEAM team.
Okay. Did you talk to us about how you had some involvement with an insurance adjuster?
The involvement being that I showed him the home? Yes.
And the insurance company was USAA?
I believe that's correct.
Let's look at what's in evidence. AG Exhibit 410, second page. Just catch the first page first, Eric. Can you confirm with me, Mr. Wicker, Drew, that the date of this correspondence from USAA is September 16th, 2020?
I can.
And let's turn to the second page. Do you see that the policyholder is Warren Paxton, your former boss?
Yes,
Okay. And you see there's a claim number there?
I do.
And do you see this explanation for the benefits and the payments and the additional payments that are laid out there?
That's what it appears to be, yes.
And how often did you hear General Paxton complain about how slow the insurance company was on his claim?
Objection, Your Honor. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's hearsay.
Exactly. We've been hearing from General Paxton all trial.
He's our party opponent, Your Honor, not his own. He cannot proffer statements for Ken Paxton on his behalf from the stand. We get to use them against him. He doesn't get to offer them for you.
Sustained.
Do you see here it says $32,000 total cash out to you for all other covered repairs? Do you see that?
I do.
Did you ever have any involvement in trying to convince the mortgage company to release that check to the Paxtons?
I don't recall that, no.
Okay. Did you understand that there were more repairs being made that Ken Paxton was claiming were covered from a different contractor?
Objection assumes facts not in evidence and counselors testifying.
Did you know?
Sustained.
Did you know that there was a different contractor doing some of the work in the Paxton's home?
Objection, Mr. Busby. That's twice the judge has sustained the objection to facts not in evidence.
He just testified to it in direct that he dealt with Kevin Wood.
Yeah.
That's in evidence.
That's because it was a direct relationship based on his rational perception of the facts.
Did you deal with Mr. Wood? Did you see Mr. Wood at the home?
I did deal with Mr. Wood, yes.
Did you know that he was doing repairs and renovations to the home?
Yes.
Did you know that he was in fact the second contractor that's being referred to in the USAA docs?
No, I've never seen these documents.
Objection
figure out
assumes
if-
facts not in evidence. He's introduced a second contractor when all we know is the first and Cupertino.
I'm trying to figure out how it would be that Nate Paul's paying for repairs when in fact USAA is paying for some of them. You have any idea about that?
General Paxton expressed to me that he was paying things out of his own pocket as well as insurance.
Exactly. You knew that, for instance, the sink that they put into the home, you know that sink was replaced, right?
Objection assumes facts not in evidence.
I'm asking him, Your Honor, how can we put it in evidence if I don't ask the witness? These are
Overruled.
silly objections. You know that they were trying to replace their sink, right?
No, sir, I do not know that.
Do you know what the sink looks like now?
No, sir.
Do you know who paid for the sink?
No, sir.
Your Honor, we're going to offer AG Exhibit 433, which is all the pictures
Objection, Your Honor.
that Angela, let me offer the exhibit first. All of the pictures that Angela Paxton had from her phone, all of these, where they were at Lowe's and Home Depot, pricing repairs to their home that they paid for out of their own pocket.
Objection, Your Honor. Assumes facts
If
not
I
in
could
evidence.
finish
Excuse me, Counselor. Let him finish. Okay. You have
Proven
plenty
up.
of time to object.
with an affidavit from Senator Paxton herself establishing that these are records that they keep, that they kept, and she confirms that they are what she say they are, and they're non-hearsay, they're mostly just pictures.
Your Honor, Mr. President, if I may respond.
Exhibit 433, all the pictures from Angela Paxton's phone.
I'm not calling Senator Paxton's credibility on this
Excuse me
issue
1 second.
into
Let
question.
me ask you, do you object?
I do.
What basis?
I am not calling the affidavit itself into question. What I am saying is there is inadequate information in that packet to establish it as relevant. For example, there are about 300 pages of what looks like scrolling online shopping or photographs from catalogs from Home Depot and Lowe's. They have no point of relevance. You don't know when the pictures were taken or by whom. So while she can establish they are her records, we do not know what they imply. There's nothing to show us what they fairly and accurately depict or when it was taken.
That's what the affidavit
Mr.
does.
Busby.
The affidavit specifically does what she claims it doesn't do.
She does not claim the time frame or when the pictures were taken.
Right here, Your
Can
Honor.
I see the affidavit?
You may.
Further, Mr. President, I would point out that their business record affidavit has not been on file for 14 days, and no metadata is included, which would have been easily provided if they'd done a Celebrite jump of the cell phone. One other point of order, Mr. President. The defense has not followed the rules established by this body in order to have a senator testify, which is de facto what is happening by affidavit. I want to encourage everyone to realize I am not questioning that she signed what she believes to be a valid affidavit. It's that it is not in compliance with the rules, and it does not tell us what it purports to depict.
Your Honor, our mission here, this is Article 10, our mission here is to find the truth. And they have alleged that Ken Paxton and Angela Paxton, a member of this body, were bribed, that someone else paid for their house repairs. The documents you have in your hand directly contradict that and in fact prove the opposite. Those are proved up by affidavit. The pictures fairly and accurately represent pictures they were taking when they were pricing at Lowe's and Home Depot. They also have pictures of the house itself as it was undergoing renovations, and I'll compare those pictures with the pictures of the home now to demonstrate that all the things Angela Paxton wanted, like a new sink, she got.
Objection, Your Honor. Counsel continues to
Your Honor.
testify on behalf of his client. It is inappropriate. I ask that we approach and that the testimony be stricken and the senator's asked to disregard. I am not attacking a senator here, but he has to follow the rules of evidence because this is a court and we follow the rules.
Come on up. Come on up.